Hello, this is Prophet Six, family prophet to the angel of the church, to the Laodiceans. God bless you. Hey, I know you see something different. You see me wearing a hat. Well, I'm not going to be reading from the scriptures, so I'm not going to, so I could wear a hat right now. I'm just going to be talking to you on the up and up and talking to you about some things that was on my mind. Today is the preparation for the Sabbath day, and I've been running some errands this morning and getting everything going and about to have worship with the kids. And I just wanted to uh, uh, touch bases with you. And I was thinking about, I wanted to give you all my testimony about my, how God had been leading me in the Christian faith. Now, I came from uh, what you would call an average Christian home. And when I say average Christian home, I mean quasi. It's really not a Christian home. It was a quasi Christian home. And the reason why I say that, we never had a goal uh, uh, as a family to build up God's kingdom. Never, ever. Those words I've never heard spoken in my family. We didn't sing it, we didn't sing as a family praises to God. We didn't study scriptures as a family. We didn't all the typical things that Christians don't do. We didn't do those things that would be a hallmark of being Christian, or at least having the fruits thereof. We didn't possess those. And so that's why I say I was raised in, because most people would call the type of family that I was raised in a Christian family. It wasn't Christian. Really, it wasn't. I mean, it was no more Christian than Buddhism is. You see, you feeling me? Now, I'm saying that not because I'm trying to slam my parents. I'm not. However embarrassing this may be. But the reason why I'm bringing these things out is because, when I was a child, a teenager, and a young adult, adolescent, I used to wonder, I don't see no different between my family and any other family that was on this block. It was very few families on my block that I grew up on that went to church. Okay? Very few families on my block that talked about God. Very few. It just never came up. But so let's get outside of the context of family. Most of the people on my block, guess what? They say they was Christians. I really didn't see no difference. And we went to, public worship sessions and gatherings more probably than anybody on the block. I won't say probably, we did, than anybody that was on the block. We lived over there for a long time. Okay. Now, most of the people on my block would say, well, we Christians too. Go to church on Easter, go to church on Mother's Day, go to church on Christmas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But come on. We were no more Christian than they were. I played with the same children that went to the same school that I went to. The school, it wasn't a Christian school, but if you ask all the children if they are Christian in the school that I went to, they would say they were Christian. So I'm trying to show you that there is a pattern. Not trying to slam the school, not trying to slam the people that lived on my block, not trying to slam my parents or my siblings. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, y'all, this stuff that we call Christianity, it is not Christianity at all. It's total opposite. It really is. This is not no Christianity. So I was raised in that type of Christian home. Okay. And so, we went to the Church of God in Christ. And sometimes we studied with the Jehovah's Witness at some point really early in my life. We was investigating the Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, Pentecostal, Lutherans. And at one point I went to a Methodist church that was down the street from us that was called Julia Julia Gay, I think it was called, and Holy Family Church, or Julia Gay, I forget what the name of the church was. And so we were really no more Christian than anybody else, and really not Christian as all. And I'm talking about as a family. But I remember as a child, and even though I was going through this trek through, the daughter of Babylon churches with my family, I noticed when I open up the word, I always wanted to be like the people in the Bible. I'm telling you, I can't, when I was 5, I've always 4, 3, I always wanted to be like the people in the Bible, be like the disciples, Jesus, Moses, John the Baptist, always, always had an affinity towards these type of people. And I always wanted to be these type of people. And I never thought that these type of people were not real. Never thought that. Okay. So got through my adolescence, I'm up to my adolescence. And so around about the age 15, 16, my parents hear about the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So we started attending a tent effort that was conducted by the speaker, the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Lake Region Conference. And the speaker's name was George Rainey, and powerful preacher as far as I knew. You know what I'm saying? In the kingdom of the blind, he that has one eye is king. So powerful preacher, pretty good teacher. And my parents used to go goo goo gaga over George Rainey. I mean, up to that time, I had never seen them go goo goo gaga. I mean, it was just crazy, And so for all intents and purposes, I'm thinking all of this is on the up and up, is genuine. And, hey, we found God's true church, because that's what they were touting themselves as. That's what they were, teaching themselves to be. So we learned about Ellen G. White and all this kind of stuff. But at the 10 efforts, they really don't press Ellen G. White. It's too hard until the end of the evangelistic efforts when they're about to baptize you. So they don't come out front and tell you about Ellen G. White. That's way, way down the road. And so they had been there for some months. It was a quite extensive evangelistic efforts. And I believe that where it was at in Chicago was on Ashland Avenue, somewhere around 74th, 75th and Ashland, where there's now a Walgreens. Now, to you all that don't live in Chicago, that don't mean nothing. But to those that live in Chicago, they're having flashback, and they're having, it's reminiscent of a time that some say was better than it is now, and in many extents it was. But I remember when I got baptized at this tent effort, that George Rainey was the evangelist at. After I had I got my first job when I was working there. And when I was working there, when I got my first job, I was working downtown Chicago. And I had decided that I'm going to keep Sabbath. So I told my employer, hey, I'm not going to be able to work on the Sabbath. I was really convicted about the Sabbath. And I always used to wonder, even before I ran into the Seventh-day Adventist faith, why don't people keep the Sabbath? I used to always wonder that. Always wonder why, as a Christian family, we don't acknowledge the Sabbath. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even with that limited knowledge that I had, I knew that there was something different in the commandments other than what the mass of Christendom were doing. And so when I went to this tent effort, that was confirmed. And, I was working and everything, and I said, I want to have the Sabbath off. And I want to tell you something. Oh, by the way, I got to say this too. I was going to get baptized because I wanted to follow Christ. I really did. I wanted to do what he wanted me to do. I wanted to be one of the citizens in his kingdom, you see. But my mother told all the children, all of you all are going to have to join the Adventist church. We all been baptized. Well, it didn't matter to me, but I want to tell you, it did rub me the wrong way. Even though I was going to get baptized anyway, and I did. It did rub me the wrong way because it was totally antithetical to everything that I was hearing preached at the tent effort. So it's like you're going to impose faith on your children? No, no. Yeah, the rules of your home, yeah, but you're going to impose a personal relationship with Jesus on your children. And that's essentially what my mother was doing. And my mother is basically the strong person in the family, not my father. And so she cracked the whip and said everybody's going to get baptized, and everybody did. That was of baptism age. And so, but I noticed this. When I told my mother that I wasn't going to be working on the Sabbath, my mother and father went berserkers. They really did. They went berserk. You just don't want to work. You lazy. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like stymied. Now, remember I'm about 16 years of age. I'm like, wow. Because I'm seeing that they going goo, gaga over this evangelist. They got his tapes. They playing them all the time. They talking about him all the time. They all excited. And then I told them, yeah, I'm going to keep the Sabbath. Oh God. I mean, went berserk. Berserk. And it really did mess my head up. Not with God, but with them. I really didn't know what to make heads or tails of it, because when you're a young person, you are trusting in your parents. You believe that they're going to lead you the right way. You think that they, especially when they say you've been raised in a Christian home, you think that they're going to do, it don't work that way, y'all. And I'm not just saying my case is just a microcosm. I'm not saying it's the standard, but I'm saying it's a microcosm of a much bigger, larger quilt. Okay. I'm just like one thread in it, or fiber, if even that, you see. So that's what my experience is. And I was like, wow. But you know what? I kept the Sabbath off. I was not going to work on the Sabbath. And, and so the first persecution that I received from trying to follow Christ, I got to say it, y'all. I got to say it. And I love my parents, mama and daddy. Hope they get into the kingdom. Mama and dad. And guess what? They are not people that were Muslims and were persecuting me. No, they were people that were advocating the religion. Oh, advocating the tenets of it. But no, we're not going to keep them. And you don't need to keep them either. God knows you need to eat. I was like, what? I mean, the evangelist was actually saying these very same things under the tent about arguments that people would use to keep you from keeping the Sabbath. Little did he know that my own parents was doing the same exact thing that he was advocating against. Wow. Wow. So the devil got busy in my family right away when I said, hey, I want to keep God's commandments. I want to keep the Sabbath. And I want to learn more. No. And from that time to this day, the relationship between my parents and I has soured. Now, you say, well, why am I putting all this out there on YouTube? Because I want to tell you this. Christians are something else. Not just Christians, but human beings. There's something else. Now, this I know is going to help somebody. I know it's going to help somebody. But is somebody out there watching this right now who's saying, you shouldn't be doing this? If the devil is in my family, I will expose him. If he's outside my family, I will expose him. If he's in me, I will expose Satan. If he's in you, I will expose it. Come on. I've had influences of the devil before. I've entertained influences of the devil before, and I'm sure that wasn't the last time. I mean, look at the religion that I've come under. Not just Seventh-day Adventist, Baptist, Pentecostal, Lutheran, Catholic, you name it. Satan is in every single one of these religions. So why would I think that I'm anything better? I mean, America was molded by these satanic religions, satanic organized religions. Yeah. I'm an American. I probably have a greater propensity of the Satan attacking me as an American than any other type of nationality on the face of the earth. So why wouldn't I not do it? You see what I'm saying? So I came into the Seventh-day Adventist church, and I remember, I will never forget this. I remember when I got baptized, when I came up out the water, still had baptism water baptism pool water draining out of my ear. Two older ladies come up to me, senior citizens, walk up to me with mean mugs, and they pointed at me and said, "One day you're going to be a shepherd's rod." And they just snarled at me and walked away. I don't know who these women were. I can't remember their faces. If I saw them again, I don't know. They may be dead. Who knows? But I was like, what is up with that? I remember saying that. What was that? Huh? Shepherd's rod? What is shepherd's rod? Now, I'm just coming out the baptism water, just walking around the tent. Back in those days, they had tent efforts. They had big tents. They didn't rent halls. And I came in on the tail end of that era ending. And the ladies walked up to me and told me, "You're going to be a shepherd's rod." I had no idea what a shepherd's rod was. Didn't know. But the word stuck in my head. And so after the tent effort had was over, and I didn't see anything more or hear anything else about Seventh-day Adventists. And I think that may have been, I'm not sure, but I think that may have been, much to the chagrin of my parents, the Ellen White thing was probably a sticking point for them. Because the Seventh-day Adventist Church teaches that Ellen G. White, they basically, hey y'all, I know Seventh-day Adventists inside out. The Adventists basically teach, this is the basic. If you boil it all down, they basically teach that Ellen G. White is the spirit of prophecy for today. I categorically reject that. I have a huge problem with that. Now, this is one of the top false doctrine that the Seventh-day Adventist Church has is the Trinity. Okay, that's number one. But right under there is Ellen G. White is the spirit of prophecy for today. I just can't embrace that. You know why? She is dead. God don't use nobody dead for anybody living. But they think that because they have her writings, that it's equal to having her here. I don't believe that. I can't think of any movement right off the top of my head that has ever happened with a dead person leading it. I can't think of it. Yeah, Jesus died, but isn't he alive? Thank you. I understand that. So this is a very satanic doctrine. A dead person is your prophet for today. I don't understand that. The dead in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, they believe this. They believe that when you're dead, you're in the grave. They don't believe you go to heaven. But on the other hand, when it comes to Ellen G. White, okay, she's our prophetic leader. See, I don't understand that. If you have living people, you need living prophets for living people. Dead prophets, dead people don't have even dead prophets to listen to. They are dead. The other thing Okay, but those are the two of the top false doctrines that I could say is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The Trinity, and Ellen G. White, a dead prophet or messenger. And my thing is this: if she's never said she was a prophet, why are y'all calling her that? If it's true that she's never said she was a prophet, why are you calling her that? You see what I'm saying? Let the Redeemer of the Lord say so. If she didn't say that when she was alive, let's just don't take it no further than what she said it. Now, one thing I will say, she was mightily used by God, no matter what she is or what she was. Pardon me. You see what I'm saying? So when I came into the Seventh-day Adventist Church, right after my baptism, I get this whiff about some shepherd's rod. Now, this is 20 minutes already, and I guess I'll give you another part of this testimony later on. This is Prophet 6, Family Prophet to the Angel of the Church of the Laodiceans. God bless you. And look for part 2 of my testimony. Bye-bye.